Hello everyone. It's going to be section 3 here on sediment deposition. So we've talked about weathering, where we break the rocks down, and now we have erosion, all the processes which move the sediment to wherever it's going to end up at. It has to stop somewhere. So sediment is transported usually by either wind, water, ice, or last one is just gravity. Sometimes you hear this called mass wasting. For whatever reason, rocks come loose, they fall. This would include things like landslides, rocks falling downhill. Gravity likes to do this. Generally, rule across all of these, sediment is going to settle down and be deposited whenever the speed of the sediment travel decreases. Whenever it starts to slow down, it settles wherever it is. So we're going to first talk about the environments on land where you might see sediment deposited. We're also going to talk about environments in the ocean or near the ocean where you might see sediments deposited. So first, on land, what are our four main locations? We have glacial environments, bars and glaciers, in and around lakes, in and around streams, and Eolian environments, or places where we have wind blowing strongly and intermittently, right? Something like this. So first, glaciers. Looking at our picture here, you see that we have mountains. We have a place where a glacier has cut through the mountains, and at the base and on the sides, we have sediments deposited. Same thing looking at here. We have a place where a glacier has carved through mountains, and then on the side and at the base, sediments deposited. And big surprise here, we have our mountains. We have a place where the glacier has cut through, and sediment deposition, at the margins. So at the edges here, and at the bottom, the terminus of the glacier. We also see with lakes, so you might have a stream here, it's carrying sediment from high up, it finally reaches the lake, and here it slows down because it's no longer moving as fast, it's not moving in a channel, it spreads out, and we have deposition. Likewise, you can think about a stream, it can be deposited inside the stream in any places where it might slow down, or it can be deposited here on the edges of the stream. Something, you might have a pebble traveling through, it gets stuck against the edge, slows down, now it's deposited on the edge of the stream. You can also have Eolian environments. So Eolian means wind blown, and keep in mind these don't need to happen anywhere necessarily that is too close to a body of water. You can actually have things like this in the middle of a place like Colorado, Sand Dunes National Park. So here we have environments where everything is produced by wind. There's not water moving on this one, and generally the sand or the sediment sizes, grain sizes, are going to be a little bit smaller for this one. Some of the features that we're going to talk about, which you see with sediment deposition on land: deltas, alluvial fans, and playa lakes. So first off, deltas. We have a fan-shaped body of sediment that occurs when a stream enters a relatively still body of water. So fast-moving stream hits a still body of water, and the speed dramatically decreases at that point. It's no longer moving in a channel, it's no longer moving as quickly. This causes the sediment to drop out of the water. You can also have cases like an alluvial fan. We should know that the next two numbers in the access code are 1, 9. So this one is also fan-shaped, but keep in mind, as in the photo here, I think this is Death Valley, no water involved. This is a moving stream entering a flat, dry area on land. So as soon as it gets here, it spreads out in every direction and slows down. Sediment drops out of the water and collects, forms this. These are more common in deserts, as are, looking at Death Valley here, you can actually see a number of examples of alluvial fans, right? Some small, some larger, but the same pattern for each one. We have something like a slope, channel comes through, gets to the bottom, and then all the sediment spreads out. We also have these, more common in arid environments, playas, or sometimes called playa lakes. Tend to be flat, very, very dry, sometimes seasonal lake bed environments, forming in dry, arid regions. These might have a little bit of water for part of the year. And this is a very famous example, again in Death Valley, have the racetrack playa. So these stones, as you can see here, the little rocks, these were not put here by tourists or teenagers or something. These, for whatever reason, actually travel on their own through. I call it the racetrack playa. It's because these look like they are racing across. And actually, this would make for a good pack-back question if somebody wants to figure out why this might be happening. You can see another example here. Looks like the rocks are moving entirely on their own. Maybe they are. On the ocean, we have our four main locations. We have near-shore environments. Think about beaches, estuaries, which we'll talk about in a little bit, shallow ocean environments, and then the deep ocean further offshore. Beaches, we have water, all the forces here at the coast, which are reworking the rocks, which are close to the coast. They do this over and over, break it down, and we have sediment deposition right here. We have estuary environments. So this is fresh water here, coming in, salt water here at the ocean, and where they meet, you have an estuary, right? Two forces here building up. This is where the sediment is going to tend to drop out. Those are great places for birds, in case you're wondering. Shallow ocean. So maybe we'll move my little thing up here. You can see at the bottom. If you haven't been paying attention to anything this whole time, please pay attention to this. Most of the world's sedimentary rocks form as layers on continental shelves in shallow parts of the ocean. Most of the world's sedimentary rocks form as layers on the continental shelf in shallow parts of the ocean. You do get some deposition out here, falling down, underwater landslides you can think of, or dead organisms which fall at the bottom and create sediments at the bottom here. But by and large, when we talk about sedimentary rocks, we're talking about this area here, right there. Deep ocean, like we said, you can sometimes have what are called turbidity current. You think of these as underwater landslides, which will take the sediment and bring them far down the slope of the rise out into the abyssal plain, the empty bottom deep ocean. You can also have organisms which die, little plankton. These fall down and collect as biogenic sediments. Right down there. Next session is going to be on sedimentary rocks.